Hola, soy Julio César Chávez.
And lights out, baby. Lights out all day.
This is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We gon' know. I got eyes and ears everywhere. I got friends all over the world, man.
Who gives a shit with Whitey? He's a piece of crap.
With a tear in my eye.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan, bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. You know, that's almost the first time in a year that I said my name first. It's kind of odd. We three discuss boxing each and every week. Please, first and foremost, go to our Facebook page, click like, subscribe. If you want to check out our website, there's a link there as well. I've been meaning to add it there. We do have a website. Go check it out. We have news feeds, and we'd appreciate it. With all of that said, we start off the show exactly the same way each and every week. And today we start with Miguel. Miguel, how was your week?
Well, same old. Worked Monday through Friday as usual. I'm still working from home. Got some exciting news. Apparently, my computer's going to be replaced with a new computer from work. So that's really the only thing happening in my life.
Hell yeah.
Miguel,
Nice.
I have a question.
Sure.
Are you saying people that are covering boxing have day jobs? Why, I find that so hard to believe.
It's shocking, isn't it?
It is. I turn to you, Andrew Labouche.
It's only for our travel money, Lee. Yeah, that's
No
just
kidding. I was telling somebody else the other day, why would you do this show? You really don't have sponsors. It's almost like a vanity project. I said, it's 100% a vanity project because I like talking boxing with my friends. These two guys are the only people I could talk boxing to where I won't get a fucking nosebleed. And I've recently been talking to a lot of people who think they know a lot about boxing, and it's very painful. They might understand how boxing works physically, but they don't understand the science or, the media or the manipulation of it. But I digress. Andrew, how was your week?
very good. Same like Miguel. Just working. Come home and watch the babies. Really not too much else going on yet, even though it's hopefully close to coming to an end. Close. It sounds like things are coming back, but we'll see.
All right, I got a surprise for both of you.
New
Joining
York
us
is
on
going
the line
Oh, nice.
from Australia,
Oh.
producer Sam Navajero. Cracky. Thank you. Thank you, Sam, for that drop. What did you say about your gelato? Cracky. Okay, that was Sam speak for go visit his gelatotarium in Gelato Circle in Queensbury Market. And if you say you heard about it on Fight Net Radio, you get free gelato. Cracky. He's going to love that joke. My name's Lee Honish. I am the conductor of this car crash. We have one very simple format on this show. We rewind the date to the last time I talked about boxing with my friends, and then we talk about boxing. So those of you looking for the big headlines of Canelo fighting, I'm guessing, a taxi cab driver, hold on. It'll be at the end of the show because that just happened last night. But we start where we left off so that you are completely up to date. This is the news of the week from last week. Dun, dun, dun. I should drop music right there if I was really cool on the production side. Oscar Valdez wants to unify the 130-pound title. Coming off his spectacular upset, Oscar Valdez has a game plan. Willingness to win and desire to be world champion paid off in a big way. I finally fulfilled my childhood dream to be a WBC world champion. I'm very happy right now with the victory, the biggest of my career. I want to thank everybody. Asked about what his plans are. He wants to fight everybody. Okay. This is a direct contrast to generally who people win in these situations and name no one. In this particular case, he's calling out the division. And I like that. Nothing like an underdog to actually stand up to this. He drops the names of Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Jamel Herring, or Jamal, whichever. I think they're the same person. Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, and Jojo Diaz. And he wants to fight them all on the same night where he will be a minus 4,000 against the division. I start with you, Miguel. Do you think he has a chance in this epic cage match?
Considering that the IBF belt is the only one that's actually vacant, I think it might be easier for him to snatch that belt up against maybe a slightly lesser opponent. But as far as the other ones go, Davis, Shakur, those are. He can beat JoJo. I think he can beat JoJo. I think he can beat Leo as well. It's the rest. I don't know.
I've got a follow up to that. I mean, we've talked about this repeatedly. Has Shakur Stevenson actually been tested? Is he like a real 130 pounder in your mind, Miguel?
No, he's still. He's considered he's a former champ at 126, but 130 hasn't been tested. No, not yet. We're just basically using his 126 experience to consider him a top dude at 130, but that hasn't been really proven yet at 130. No.
Andrew, Jamel, Jamal, Carl, Peter, Leo, JoJo, and joining us on the line, all the way from Atlanta. Yes, you guessed it. Hey. So everybody wants in on it, Andrew. What do you think?
Listen, they say Stevenson is the guy that's going to give him his hardest test. Right now, Valdez has to be the favorite against anybody he goes up against. He's number one in the division. He beat the number one fighter, and he didn't just win by decision, close decision, anything. He knocked him out. He dominated that fight. We still haven't heard an excuse from the camp of Burchell. So what a great fight for Valdez all the way around. There is no, I was sick, my arm hurt, my costume was too heavy. Where's some other Deontay ones? The spike, his trainer didn't spike his water. We haven't heard anything like this.
The gloves, something wrong with the gloves, might as well.
There you go. So yeah, man. All credit to Valdez. He's number one. He's got to be the favorite in any matchup you put him in right now. And yes, Stevenson at 15-0. Well, that's a good potential fight in the future. You cannot say Stevenson's a clear favorite against Valdez right now. Resumes don't match up, Lee.
I don't disagree. Hey, because you all demanded it by vote-in, or I guess watching on some celebrity show, you guessed it, ex-champ DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley is making his return.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
He will be in the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debuting March 19th in Mississippi. I'm guessing in a boiler room. I don't know how that works at all. It's a boiler room match.
Okay.
It could be a buried alive match. I don't know. Corley will meet fellow boxer Reggie Barnett in a lightweight world title eliminator. Oh my God, they even have that horse shit too. What? Where do I even begin on how crazy this is? Is it that they've got title eliminators and subprime champions even in BKFC, which makes me think of fried chicken? Or is it the fact that DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley is so down on his luck that he's prepared to go dogfight in a boiler room? I start with you, Andrew Labouche. Shocked by another boxer looking to make a payday?
No, I'm not shocked by that at all. What I will be shocked, do you think he'll still be wearing the Victoria's Secret panties as he's fighting in the ring? DeMarcus was one of the first fighters that sported, it looked like a women's underwear as he fought.
Wow.
That's all I got. That's all I got. He has hella kids, though. Can't knock him. He just said it let him be more flexible. That's what I think Showtime's the one that announced that. Yes, sir. Sorry for my useless knowledge on fucking.
It's pretty strong, though. I liked it. I'm sure the fans were happy that you're the one who went to the dark well of Victoria's Secrets instead of me for a change. So, you got that. It's good. Miguel Antonio Barragan, another one enters the BK Fried Chicken Challenge.
Definitely not surprised. Disappointed. You don't want to see these dudes get fucked up any worse than they already are. Chop Chop is a veteran.
It was so good for Malinagi's career.
Right.
His hand.
And his hand. It's done wonders for his hand. So these dudes. If you ever watch any one of these fights, like we're talking like cuts. Everybody gets fucking cut. It doesn't matter what, who you fight. I swear everybody gets cut. We're talking about, bare knuckle here to face. It's like bone to bone, damn near. And then, I guess I don't know how much trauma, because, it's one or the other. Either you have a glove and you have a lot of brain trauma, or you have no gloves and a lot of scarring, a lot of superficial damage. So I guess this is the lesser of the two, rather than to have him, go into continue boxing, I guess. But man, I guess he just needs to continue supporting those kids because he's got to have a payday, and hopefully Victoria's Secret can sponsor him or something, and we can include that as an interesting fact next time.
Let's talk about Lou DiBella because we haven't talked about Lou DiBella in literally forever. And that's really the only reason I'm reading this story is because I like to know that Lou DiBella is one, not dead from, overeating. And number two, we haven't said Lou DiBella's name in forever. I didn't even know that he had boxers, but apparently.
Well, we said it last week. Hold on now. You got to remember, we said it last week. He made money off Cambosos, right? In the bid. Yeah. So remember that one. So he's still
going to
around.
come up a lot today. Actually, he's going to come up a lot today. So it's kind of exciting for him. Lou DiBella, the largest landmass outside of our friend and favorite rider. I guess he'd be the second largest landmass in North America. Lou DiBella, promoter Lou DiBella says WBO number 5 heavyweight Junior Fa has the skills to defeat WBO heavyweight champion Joseph Parker when they clash at Sparks Arena in Auckland, New Zealand on Saturday. This happening a week ago. Did this fight happen yesterday?
Last night, or this morning? No, was it yesterday morning?
Yesterday morning.
Well, it's our opportunity to talk about it. What happened in that fight, Miguel?
I haven't watched it. I woke up late. Apparently, it happened like at 2 a.m. I was like, I set my alarm, but I slept right through it. Honestly, I slept right through it like alarm. So
it sounded like Parker was not supposed to win, but got the victory. Another 12-round decision by Parker. That's another thing. If you look at his record, seems he does a lot of 12-round decisions. Bye. Okay. All right. That's the daughter.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get an update here momentarily on what happened in that fight. And I'm sure, joining us on the Newsmaker line, Sam Navajero with a report on Fa versus Parker. Cracky. Thank you for that, Sam.
And they know the future. Dazin did a lot of announcing yesterday right after their fights were done. Chisora versus Parker is next, right? That is what they announced, you guys. Did anyone else hear that?
I'm sure we're going to see it in the news trend here momentarily.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Sorry.
I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised by it. Why shouldn't, second tier fighters fight it out for the WBO title? I guess. Let's move forward. Hey, Peter Frampton is taking on Jamel Herring, one of them. And Peter Frampton will now take place in that fight at the Rotunda at Caesars Palace, Blue Water, Dubai on April the 3rd. We've talked about this fight. I get that they're moving it. I get everything that's going on with it. I don't feel very excited about this fight. So, Andrew, tell me why I should be excited about this fight in a week. In a month.
I was like, in a week.
In a month.
Well, it's Herring's opportunity to get the big shot that he's always dreamed of. My bad. and Frampton's always been in good fights. So fight of the year candidate. So yes, this is going to be a decent fight. Herring needs to win big. I'm kind of surprised they moved it to Dubai. I know the situation that's going on, but that doesn't seem to be in the favor of Herring going all the way to Dubai to fight Frampton. So we'll see what happens there.
Miguel.
Well, I'm definitely excited to watch this one. This fight was supposed to have been last night, the 27th, but because of this was a hand injury for one of the two. I forgot which one. It was Frampton. They postponed it until April. We understand the circumstances behind going to Dubai. I get that. It would have been nice to have on the 20th, Burchelt and Valdez at 1:30, for a belt, and then the week after Frampton and Herring for their title, and kind of put a little bit more, I guess, clarification on the weight division. But now we're gonna have to wait another month or whatever the hell it is. So yeah, kind of bummed out that it got postponed. But the fact that it's still happening and that we're still going to lead to some clarification at 1:30, I'm totally down for it. And I am definitely looking forward to this one. I hope they don't do this dumb. I mean, it's going to be from Dubai, so I hope they don't do it at noon over here. I'm hoping they do it, to where it's like prime time over here. I like early morning boxing, but if I don't have to, I'd rather watch it at night.
Do you think he's going to perform "Show Me the Way" in Dubai? I like that song.
Yes, it's going to be the live version. Yep.
Cool. That's for everybody over the age of 40. Shout out to you old people. Triller wins Teofimo Lopez Camboso's purse bid. Triller Fight Club, because this is Triller. Triller night. And na, 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 na. Get up, get up. Did you do the whole Triller dance when you were a kid, Andrew? That would be right in your pocket, age-wise.
Yes, I did. Yes, sir.
That's a
Nothing wrong
good
with
visual.
that.
Go test that out of the archive so I could drop that in the video. Took another massive step forward in growing in sports entertainment business when it won the purse bid to stage the IBF mandatory fight between undisputed lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez. You remember him. Shocked the world, Mom. And George Cambosos Jr. Wait, I'm just getting word from our Australian correspondent, Sam Navajero. Cracky. He bid $6 million, far outpaced Matchroom at 3.5 and Top Ranks 2.3. The date and venue will be announced. This is the latest addition to a growing presence in the Triller Fight Club. So I start with you, Miguel. Why we have a new player afoot. That's right, because this is Triller night.
For the first 2 weeks that I heard of Triller, I did call him Thriller. I continued to call him Thriller, and it just seems to be. It seems like I can't get it right for some reason. But yeah, apparently we have a new name in the hat. I don't know. I'm not sure whether direction. We have a legitimate fight here with Teofimo and Cambosos, and then a not so legitimate with Jake Paul and Ben Askren. And then recently heard that Frank Mir, former UFC heavyweight champion, is going to fight Antonio Tarver, former undisputed light heavyweight champ, on the undercard of that fight. So it's kind of this weird mixture of sideshow circus and legitimate fights that Triller is trying to do. I'm not really too excited about the other fights. Teofimo and Cambosos, totally down for that one. It's quite the payday. I don't know where the fuck. I've never heard of Triller prior to Tyson and Roy Jones, so I'm not sure where the hell they have these $6 million to throw at these guys. But hey, fuck it. If it means we're going to see Teofimo,
They're doubling down with that crazy Tyson money.
Yeah, apparently, shit. But hey, fuck it. I'm down. I'll watch.
Andrew,
they're doubling down.
Triller night.
We're gonna see. Mm-hmm. We're gonna see if it's Triller night. What Teofimo needs to do is go out there and sell this fight now. Look, he got a raise. It was nowhere near what he wanted, right? He said he was going to fight for $10 million now. He's getting around, I believe it was 3.1 is the final number that he's going to get because of the split that Top Rank will take from it.
Yeah.
So it's a raise. It's a good raise. Congratulations to him. But what he needs to do for Triller is sell this fight. He needs to get their money back. $6 million starting is the starting point. And that's a big hole when you look at who the guys that have constructed Teofimo Lopez's career, who has built him. Look at what their number is. Okay, it's this is a gamble by Triller, but look, they also got the headlines, right? They beat ESPN, they beat Bob Arum, so
they beat Matchroom too,
and they beat Matchroom. So now they're going to put some commercials in, promote their other fights, right? Their little circus act fights all over this one, get it on the back end of these stories like we just dropped right now with the Frank Mir versus Antonio Tarver. Win-win for everybody. Bob Arum likes it too. He said he made $800,000 in 5 minutes, so he likes the what Triller did here too. Now, will Triller survive this? Who knows? They might have just lost a few $1 million doing this. If Tarver versus Mir and all those other things are selling good pay-per-views, well, then this was a win for Triller. But I don't expect them to be in the mainstream boxing. I think this was done a good business move by them to get in there, get some headlines against some big fish in the market. Look at how high they went over these guys, man. There was no way they were going to lose this bid. So win-win for everybody involved.
I want to make a recommendation because they're probably only spending $100,000 on the rest of the card. Please consider Clarissa Shields because really she'd be happy to make a couple of grand in her next fight. Hey! Shout out
Have they said
Clarissa
where the fuck this fight's
wherever
even
you
going
are.
to take place yet? I don't think that they've gone that far, huh? As far as like picking a venue and a city, state, anything.
What do you want to bet that the undercard is a complete mess?
Well, for as much as they're, putting on the main event, or how much money they're investing into the main event, it's going to be a complete like one-sided ass. It's going to be a top rank card. Actually, it's going to feel just like a Tampa rank card, like one-sided ass whoopings. Up and coming prospects beating guys who they can take out in 2 rounds.
Clarissa, hey! Moving forward. Golden Boy, you guys blew up my cell on this one. Golden Boy Inc. Zurdo Ramirez. Gilberto Zuro Ramirez. How did I do today, Miguel?
You're slacking there. It's Zurdo, but it's all right.
I'm very
I'll let
white
go.
sometimes.
I'll allow it.
I am white. It happens. 41-0, 27 KOs. The Mexican light heavyweight contender and undefeated former world champion has signed a multi-fight deal with Golden Boy Promotions along with Hennessy. Expect the worst. Get the drunkest. Details for Ramirez's imminent return will be announced shortly. You guys
Golden Boy was drinking.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I said Golden Boy was drinking, but go ahead with the story. That'll come later.
Yes, I'm sure. All right, so tell me about this, Andrew. You guys posted this text. It was a conversation amongst us, well, you two. And perhaps I'm not hip enough to see the greatness of Zuro. So tell me, Andrew, why should I care about Mr. Ramirez?
Well, we don't know the greatness of him yet, but we know that Canelo doesn't want to fight his countrymen anymore. Ramirez, although he's contending in the lightweight division, I believe they're going to be screaming Canelo's name a lot. Even, with it won't be far-fetched with Canelo going to light heavyweights and beating Kovalev, right? He's already been a light heavyweight champ. So why can't Oscar go and get Ramirez? They're going to keep screaming Canelo's name. Like, this is going to be Canelo's rival. I'm telling you right now. They're going to make this fight Canelo's nightmare. Canelo don't want to fight Ramirez because he knows the country's going to side with Ramirez. Canelo's always walking on thin ice over there. He might get his from his area, his people will back him, but a lot of the country is going to ride with Ramirez when this matchup goes down, and I think that's why Canelo always wanted to stay away from it, but it's going to happen. When you add in Oscar De La Hoya's name to this equation, this fight is going to happen. This just became an awesome fight for Mexico. There's a storyline here. These guys have a history. Oscar and Canelo have a history. It's crazy. Did anyone notice? And I'll get off of it, but the Eddie Hearn standing behind Canelo, they already got another fight set up. Like, they totally
with the shake to his bro.
Dude, they fucking buys him a Christmas gift. The guy's wearing his pajamas. Oh, Oscar, did you ever wear his fucking pajamas? No, I didn't think so. That's why he's got your guy and you don't. Yep. Fucking, this was a total robbery. About De La Hoya has been fucked. Listen, let me tell you something, man. When you talk about boxers are smart, Oscar's been fucked now twice in this game. He's been, hey, Bob Arum used to say that fucking kid isn't smart. And I'm not knocking the dude. I'm being real. Bob Arum is the one that said it. Go look at the interviews, all right? And now he's been fucked twice in this sport. PBC took all of his stable. They used Oscar De La Hoya's name so bad. Richard Schaefer, Al Heyman, Floyd Mayweather used him so bad. They almost got him for everything. They almost got him in a fucking in a loony house at the end of it, man. They almost did it. It was that L.A. company, AIG. What are the big guys down there?
Anheuser, Schultz, and Garoppolo.
They're
yes, it's Anheuser. It's Anheuser Group, I believe. It's something group.
they're the ones that saved Oscar, man. They opened up his eyes, but here we go again. Here we go again. Here comes Eddie Hearn. Oscar's, he's my friend. He's my friend. Let me hang out with them. Fucking over there hugging your girl. Fucking guy.
Wow. When did Andrew become Lee and Lee became the
Hey,
voice
Lee,
of...
you know that's what it is, man. When Oscar looked at that shit last night and then what happened Friday? What the fuck, man? These guys, they had a deal while Oscar was fucking on the side. Oscar was never in that circle, man.
He was outside the circle of trust.
we can imagine that meme of like Wolverine looking at that picture, right? That's basically fucking, that's De La Hoya looking at that picture of him and him and Canelo back in the day.
Yeah, man.
He's not a part of the circle. That's awesome.
No.
That's awesome. Miguel.
Well, I mean, back to the story. Yeah, I'm excited about Soto moving up, or I mean, signing with De La Hoya. It's gonna put him a little bit more on the name. He was with Top Rank before, and people knew who he was, but I mean, it just didn't feel like he was fighting enough times. And then at light heavyweight with other champs like Beterbiev and Bivol, I mean, I'm down to see him fight any one of those guys. So it's something that even Joe Smith, fighting Joe Smith, it's a lot. There's a lot of possibilities, and I'm down to watch him at 175, and we can pretty much guarantee that he's going to be yelling for Canelo at any time now. He's going to try to bait him into moving back up to 175. I don't think Canelo will fall for it, to be honest. I think from what he said countless times during the broadcast last night, he's comfortable at 168. I'm sure he doesn't see himself moving back up to 175 anytime soon. And I mean, considering those guys are up there waiting for him, I don't blame him. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see, what's his name, De La Hoya put a little bit more promotional umph behind Ramirez.
Okay, let's move forward because we're getting closer and closer. Hey, guess what happened the other day? Parker defeated Fa by unanimous decision.
What the fuck? Unanimous, huh?
Former WBO heavyweight champion and current WBO number 3 ranked WBO fighter Joseph Parker scored a 12-round unanimous decision over previously unbeaten WBO number 5 ranked fighter Junior Fa, who now drops to 19-1 with 10 KOs, to claim the vacant WBO Oriental heavyweight title. Okay, fuck the rest of this story. Look, when they said they're fighting for the WBO title, I actually had a moment of they're fighting for the WBO title. I thought it was being held by Joshua, but all right. No, I was wrong. The most racist belt in boxing has appeared. The WBO Oriental. Why don't they just call it the WBO slant-eyed heavyweight title? Oriental.
Wow.
God damn. That is just shocking. Sam Navajero, our Australian correspondent, what do you think? Cracky. Thank you, Sam. All right. So he won the title. Great. I guess he's a player? Question mark. I'll start with you this time, Andrew. In the heavyweight division, does this get Parker closer to being in the multi-million-dollar mix that is the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fallout?
No, I believe what we just said is that the rumor is he's fighting Chisora, Chris Chisora next. So that's nowhere near the big time heavyweights. He's still bottom feeding there.
Miguel, what will it take for Joseph Parker to be etched into our brains again to watch him ploddingly, slowly move along through the heavyweight division and not go away like a rash?
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, shit. Wasn't it he that got bit by that spider? Maybe beat another spider or something, so he can keep his name in the news. I mean, I saw pictures of that WBO Oriental heavyweight belt, and if you guys haven't checked it out, it looks like a blue version of the WBC belt, basically. So I'm not sure what the hell they were doing with that there, but
wouldn't it be yellow? Am I the only one who got that joke?
No, you're not the only one.
No, you're not the only one. We're just not racist and go, oh, ha, ha, ha. Just kidding. Hey, Lee, check this out. Is he the new Dillian White?
Yeah, he is. He is. That's a good comparison. I don't know if he's getting screwed because he keeps getting opportunities. I mean, certainly it's a discussion, right? I don't know if he's been
really
screwed
calling this an
over, but
Eddie
he's
Hearn,
definitely
Eddie
been
Hearn's gonna he's gonna just have him. He's gonna have him fight him. He's gonna be fighting Foz for like the next 3 years, basically. And he's already lost to Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, so that's not good. He has the fight to Andy Ruiz. A lot of people thought he lost that one, so he's lost. He has one controversial decision and 2 defeats already against the big guys. His other wins look like they all come against second-hand fighters, and there's a lot of decisions here against them. So, yeah, I don't see Parker moving at all. He doesn't move the needle at all. He's not a David Tua, right? He doesn't have that kind of attraction. So just look for him chilling at the zone doing these fights against guys like this over there until maybe Eddie Hearn has to use them. It's like I think we said this, it's like with the girls with the dick in the jar, man. They break the jar open when they have a friend that they'll let fucking do it that one time, and that's what Parker is. He's the new Dillian White. Just Dillian White's jar never got broken.
There you go. Hey, you know what? This is a good opportunity right in the middle of the show for me to say, hey, visit us on social media, facebook.com/FightNetRadio. More importantly, we need you to go over to YouTube and the Instagrams and follow that guy sitting over in that chair over in Las Vegas at Fight Fiend Mix. Last week, he covered Canelo live. He had a complete pipeline to it. Andrew had a pipeline to Yildirim and Oscar. I mean, it's very, very exciting, the kind of content that we are providing for people through our multiple channels. And the only way to get that information is by following us at Andrew Labouche, at Lee Honish, at Fight.net.radio, at Fight Fiend Migs. And you will get the most comprehensive behind-the-scenes coverage. And we won't come off greedy and needy like Dan Rayfield, who is just now doing a newsletter because he's not working for any company anymore, in a very sad and kind of fall from boxing grace.
I like
and
how
what does that teach us?
I like how he keeps reminding people though, like, look, I was at this fight. Oh, look, I was at this. Like, hey Dan,
in 1972, when I was 12, I got this poster.
We know, bro. Like, we know you covered for ESPN for a long time, Dan. You don't have to keep reminding people. Yeah. We all know who Dan Rayfield is.
It's like, yeah, they served hot dogs at this fight, and they served nachos at this fight. That's a good day.
Shout out, everybody go visit Dan Rayfield on social media and sign up for his newsletter, because nobody gets to read his stuff anymore because he doesn't do anything for any major publications anymore. I mean, he gets picked up on the news wires because he's still Dan Rayfield. So look, Dan needs to eat, and Dan is a very large man, and Fight Net Radio has always been very kind, and we never fat shame him ever. We try to campaign to get him gastric bypass. We failed. So keep him alive in your hearts before he's dead from overeating.
Wow. Jesus.
Did that feel strong for you guys? I liked it.
Kind of strong.
Let's talk about boxing last night. We're there. Durrell versus Davis ends in a draw for the WBC.
The PBC way. Oh, I gotta love these guys. You know what? Fucking love them.
In a WBC super middleweight eliminator, two-time world champion Anthony the Dog Durrell took on, I love this guy's name, Chiron. Shut it down, Davis. I just like the name Shut It Down. Guy with a 15-2 record. Shut it down. Shut it down. A former world champion takes a draw with a dude who's 15 and 2. How do you want me to spin it? They were at the Shrine Auditorium here in Los Angeles. No particularly memorable. This is a great write-up. This was clearly not written by the BBC. No particularly memorable highlights in a tough, gritty fight where Durrell had a slight higher work rate. This is the greatest line ever, and I'm clipping it out and saving it in my clips of PBC lines. This is a winner. This is so good it gets Wonka straighter. No particularly memorable highlights in a tough, gritty fight where Durrell had a slightly higher work rate. I'm going to translate that for the room. This was a workmanlike performance out of two workmanlike fighters who will never see a chance of getting to a championship ever in the rest of their career, unless you're with the PBC.
Yeah, I
So
wouldn't say that. Yeah, I wouldn't. I
Yeah,
don't know
well,
about.
I'm pretty sure the dog is the number one
I'm
contender
sure
right now.
their rematch is probably for some WBA regular title, Lee. So don't hold your breath on that one.
I love this. I love this conceptually. Miguel Antonio Barragan, shocked that the dog ain't got no teeth.
Well, I did watch this one actually. It was a snooze fest. I'll admit it wasn't exactly every time they would show some sort of highlight in between the rounds. It's like, oh, okay. I mean that really wasn't much. It was like a jab or something. But it really didn't feel like it was a draw. It did feel like Anthony Durrell was winning the fight. I didn't think it was that close. I will say Durrell did get hit a lot more than I thought he would get hit. He was able to take the shots well. It's not like this dude is a knockout puncher, Tyrone, but shut it down, Davis. But I mean, this was a WBC title eliminator for Canelo's belt, supposedly, according to what they're saying. I went 12 rounds. I did not think that Davis won this one. I really didn't, But once I heard the scorecards, I was like, I can't hate on it. It looked like there were a couple of times during the fight where Durrell was looking over to Davis's corner and like talking smack to his trainer, because they were in this small little venue and you can hear everything other than besides the fake crowd noises. So he would like turn to the Davis's corner and say something for a second and kind of mad dog him or something. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Watch the fight. So anyway, it was a snooze fest. Really, you guys didn't miss anything if you guys didn't miss it. But this draw did feel a little suspect. I think Durrell did take it. But hey, fuck it. I'm not complaining. It's a draw.
Hey, lucky for Davis, when Al Heyman put the blindfold over his eyes and threw the dart at Durrell's future, it fucking landed on Davis again. He was like, fuck it, draw, bring it back. Yeah. And so that's what, another date, another location, they'll be back.
There you go. Hey, last night at the Hard Rock Super Spreader event in Miami, there were other fights on the card besides Canelo. While everybody was busy getting COVID, Big Bang Zhang made his Eddie Hearn national sort of spotlight fight against Forrest Whitaker. Big Bang Zhang dropped him a few times in the first few rounds, but Forrest Whitaker battled back with his one bad eye and managed to put the fight into a draw. I start with you, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Did you start the evening early enough to watch Big Bang Zhang, or as I like to say, the gateway to Macau money?
Yes, I did see Yao Ming versus Daniel Cormier last night. I tuned in a little bit later, though. I was watching, the UFC card as well, but then I was like, oh shit, this card already started. So I flipped it over just in time to see Zhang run out of gas, like pathetically, in this latter half of the fight. We were just, it got to the point where we were seeing, me and my dad started watching earlier than I did. And he was like, dude, this guy, this Chinese dude is like whooping this black dude's ass. And then by the time I started watching it, it like turned around. I was like, Dad, are you sure we're watching the same fight? Because I see this black dude whooping this dude's ass. And he's like, no, this guy's running out of gas. This Chinese dude is running out of gas. And in fact, it got to the point where we started cheering for Forrest to win at the end. I was just like, oh, please, this is what Zhang gets, running out of gas. But yeah, he got dropped a couple of times, and that kind of helped him with the scorecards.
He got dropped three times. It's amazing that this fight ended in a draw the way that it started. I fell asleep in round 5. I wake up and they're like, and you're right, the guy, the Zhang is getting beat up all over the ring. I watched the last 2 rounds. Yeah. I was like, what the hell happened?
They deducted a point, right? They even deducted a point for holding for like.
Yes.
And on top of that, so it's just like, I mean, it was bad, dude. Like this is tough man shit. You know what I'm saying? Like tough man dudes get tired like this.
What's weird about this fight too is they kept talking about retirement for Zhang if he was to lose. So I don't know what kind of deal Zhang has with his team. He's only in it to be undefeated. If he loses, he's out. I don't know what the deal was with that, but they kept saying like did you guys hear that, Miguel? Them kept saying that, oh, he might retire after tonight or because of this, or like basically if he lost, he was going to call it quits. Did you guys get that from this fight?
Wait, about Forrest?
Zhang. about Zhang.
I heard that, but I legit thought they were talking about Forrest. I honestly thought, I was like, all right, this dude is, he's done. He's gonna, because he's the older one, right? 30 something. I
Oh,
forgot what
well,
he
you
was.
know what? Maybe I'm the one who heard it wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was Zhang that they were saying it, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe it
I
was
mean,
Forrest.
it was hard to listen over my dad yelling at the TV, so I couldn't quite catch everything.
And I was probably half asleep. Sorry about that.
Which takes us to our main event of the evening.
No, it
Some
wasn't.
boxing to take
No,
place at
it-
the
no, it
Super
wasn't.
Spreader Super Soaker rap event with Fireworks.
That's right. That's right. That's what it was. That's what it was right there.
What the hell was I watching, people? So when I came in from last night, I went out for a little while and I came in to watch this, right? Get my pizza warmed up, getting all set. First, let's talk about the half-hour gap before we even got to the rap concert fireworks display of the evening. Why did I have a 30-minute gap to get to this fight? Does anybody have any speculations? Was it to hear the greatness of Sergio Mora, try to figure out another way to say that Canelo's the greatest fighter on the planet? Like, he ran out of adjectives at some point.
Well, it's not just him. It's the other two guys too. The two that are up in the booth with the girl. Excuse me for not knowing any of their names. But it's
guys, those dudes.
I want to bang her. Does that make me a sicko?
highly.
Just thought I'd
So
say it out loud.
he probably won't be getting any credentials.
Yeah,
You know.
it's like, oh,
All right.
to a matching card. Nah.
All right, let's first talk about the half-hour gap. This thing was structured really badly, and I'm not exactly sure why. I mean,
Well, I suspect, the fight before this one was supposed to have been Martinez and Arroyo, and Martinez got hurt with an end injury, so they put in another dude in place, and then at that point you got this dude who I forgot his name already.
yeah, I guess we could cover that, but I didn't cover it because seriously, it,
See this
it
one,
was a
right,
non-discussion, right?
but it ended quick. You know what I'm saying? It ended in like I forgot how many rounds it was. So
I
it
get that,
didn't go
but
the
that's
full
a
12 rounds.
long time. Even
Well,
with, I'm
Lee,
starting
what
to
are they
warm up
supposed to do?
now.
Yeah.
Well, they could. I think because of COVID, and they don't have a lot of reserves in the tank because of the COVID situation. What was weird about this co-main event, it was almost as if they rescheduled it. They said he had a hand injury. They said the fight was postponed, and then they're like, "Oh shit, he broke his hand. Fuck that. That fight's scratched. Now let's just go find someone for this dude to fight." The opponent that made weight, he only made weight because he comes from a smaller division.
Yeah, he was smaller, dude. You can tell the size difference.
Yep. So that's how he got the fight. So whatever. They just found some guy that was like, yeah, I can make the weight. All right, fly him in. Fuck it. Here we go. So
As soon as that first minute, my dad's like, "All right, this is the replacement, right? All right, we'll see how he's doing." Within a minute, he's like, "Nah, fuck this dude. Just take him out.
Yeah.
I'm done. Just put on the main event." And this dude, I mean, he doesn't belong here. It's obvious. You can tell. His body is looking soft. I mean, he wasn't fat per se because these guys are tiny guys as it is.
the next two fights, you can say the opponent didn't want to be there, but here we go.
They're the hot dog vendors.
Yeah. All right. That takes us to the rap concert that apparently happened after Yildirim was already in the ring, where Yildirim marched out to the ring with zero fanfare, low lighting, and then stood there like a douchebag.
No, there were fans.
Well,
there were fans in the building.
There were a lot of fans in the building, but what I
Okay.
found funny was right behind that was a 20-minute dance rap battle thing with Canelo's brother. I don't even know who that dude is. Like, it went on. I know he was holding the belts after the fight. I mean, what was that, Miguel? I start with you. Perhaps you can explain it to me.
I wish I could explain it to you. It just looked like basically a Super Bowl halftime show in between a fucking fight, man. I mean, I don't know what the hell it was. I don't know who the guy was. I legit to this day I don't know who the dude is.
You took a lot of pictures with him after the fight.
He had him in his locker room and everything.
He has a good song with Oh man, her name just left me. Son of a gun! It's the bunny song. They're Spanish. They're English.
Baby Shark. Baby Shark.
No, Baby Shark. No, you dork. Bunny. What's it? Oh man,
The
it's gonna
chicken
kill
song.
me.
I must
What's
be
her
out of it, 'cause I don't
name?
know who the fuck
What's
it is.
hey? What's the big rapper's name? Not
Yo
they're
Yo.
all fucking
Enyo.
Stal-
Neon.
She did the
Little
pussy
shitbag.
song with
I don't know.
Stallion. She did the pussy song with Stallion. My
Like
pussy's
that,
gushing.
my neck, my back song.
Pussy
Gushy,
Man.
gushy,
Coochie
pussy,
Man.
gushy,
Oh,
pussy.
Dirty
Cardi B.
Man.
Thank God, Cardi B. He
Well, that's
did a
definitely
song.
Pussy Man.
He did a song with Cardi B, and it got real big, popular. That's the only weird place I known him from.
But
And then,
they seem like they're brothers, like they're related.
yeah, it was real weird because I believe he's Puerto Rican. So
I
it
was
was real
watching
weird.
Oh,
this
is he?
fight
Oh,
with
what
a
the
buddy
fuck?
of mine.
I believe he's Puerto
And he
Rican.
said,
Yes, if
Golden
you
Gloves
look up.
fighter. And he stood there and he went, "Is that his brother?" I said, "No." I don't know what we're watching and why he's holding the belt and posing in every shot. And Canelo, there was a lot of shit after the fight observationally that I want to talk about, but I'm just trying to get to the fight to make this a story because this evening was such a shit show, right? So I have to wait a half hour. I had already eaten my pizza. I was a little grumpy at that point and decided to have waffles because apparently I had enough time during the rap sequence to them bringing out the guitarist national anthem thing, which was very cool. Very cool on the guitar national anthem thing that they had going there.
Oh, I thought it was Phoebe from Friends. No, I mean, I thought that
Oh
girl.
my God, Smelly Cat national
Yeah,
anthem.
that's what Christina exactly. She's gonna sing "Smelly Cat" next.
Kudos
That's exactly
to
what she
Christina for
said,
the
yes.
observation. Tell your wife, kudos on that observation. Kudos. From a guy who observes things to make fun of things, that's an A-class joke.
Yes, yes.
Smelly Cat version of the national anthem. Wow. Wow. Way to go, Eddie Hearn. You found a way to shit on the flag. Cool. Which then brings out Canelo, who takes a 15-minute walk to the ring because apparently we were going to have a $100,000 fireworks display that I'm sure probably forced air traffic to change its pattern in Miami for the evening based on the amount of shit they blew into the sky. And he got in the ring. And we actually got Michael Buffer for the first time in forever.
Everybody who got that entrance put together for Canelo worked harder than Yildirim did. They should get Yildirim's check. That was bullshit. I've never seen that. Listen, these fucks.
Stunning observation.
These fucks are talking about Canelo's the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. That was the biggest taxi cab driver put in a ring I've ever seen. And there's not one word of it. The man was fighting for a title and lands, what was it, under a dozen punches?
Actually, I think my text summed it up. So I'm watching it with my buddy Derek. We're sitting here wrapped around the computer. Pizza's already done. He's like, "You're eating waffles too?" I said, "There's nothing else to do but eat waffles and watch this fight now." And he goes, "I think the computer's out of sync." By the way, go to VIProw.net and watch a fight for free. Proud sponsor of Fight Net Radio for all the hackers. So we're watching it. He goes, "I think we're in a delay." I said, "No, we're not in a delay. I can hear them talking. It's not in delay. That's real time." To which I text both of you, observationally, are they fighting really slow in the first round or am I watching this badly? And you both responded, "Yeah, they're fighting really slow. It's really kind of awful." So let's start right there. Apparently, Canelo's game plan was to not throw punches in the first round. And Yildirim's game plan in the first round was to put his head up against Canelo so that Canelo could find his body quicker and easier so as to end the fight and he could get to his payday. Is that everybody's observation of round one?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll go with that, yeah.
Makes sense.
Which takes us to round two. Now that Canelo was aware of the distance between the two fighters, he then started to begin to fuck him up to the body and low blows aplenty. Okay, he warned him on one, but I watched. He shot low shots. frequently, like on the belt or they were below the belt in a lot of cases. Maybe I've just never noticed this about Canelo, or he just didn't give a fuck on Saturday. Those were some low shots. I start with you, Miguel. Yes, obviously we're going to talk about it, but it seemed he was sloppy. It seemed like Canelo was just, as Andrew put it via text, throwing home runs.
Yeah, he was swinging for the fences every time, like to the body up on top. Like it looked like he's like, all right, I'm going to take this dude out. I know once I start applying some pressure, he's going to wilt. And, sure enough, ultimately that's what happened. I'm expecting Yildirim to come up with something later on about how he was cold, and he dried up in the ring because of Canelo's entrance taking so goddamn long. But it really looked like he was just like, all right, I'm gonna. It's as if he was hitting a punching bag, like literally. You unload on the punching bag, you throw the hard shots in the punching bag. He wasn't setting anything up. It didn't look like he was really tapping here or tapping there, trying to set any shots up. He's like, he's gonna take my shots, and the second he starts feeling the pressure, he's gonna wilt. So yeah, it was like he was swinging for the fences every time.
Andrew Lapachet, second round was basically the bulk of the fight, to which Canelo went to work. And give me your feelings on Canelo taking target practice.
It's not a pound for pound matchup. It wasn't a pound for pound performance. Look, I wish Yildirim would have lasted a little longer. I would like to see how long Canelo can hit home runs for. You're not supposed to fight like that. I'm not saying even go down the road of not supposed to be able to do that, but you're not supposed to fight like that. That was a real weird style he took into the ring. No respect for Yildirim at all, even though he had sparred him in his career. These guys were sparring partners. This is why I thought the fight would go a little bit longer, if not the distance. Yildirim would give him a better fight because he knew what Canelo had to offer. But when the fight started, it was as if he never even fought Canelo before, knew what he had, and when he seen it, it was too much, and he broke mentally. You seen it when Joel asked him in the corner, do you want to continue? The man acted all of a sudden like he didn't know English anymore, and I don't know if his English is good or bad. But in that moment, he was like,
corner talked to him like he knew perfect English.
Yeah,
exactly. No, I know, but you see, he doesn't answer. He's like looking around like, and I just
like he's debating it, like almost like he's debating it in his head.
Yeah, he wanted his corner to do it. No fighter wants to say I quit. No fighter wants to give in. I think that he wanted Joel to read his eyes and do the right thing, and they did. It was a perfect stoppage because the guy wanted no part of this. Bullshit fight.
The way it sounded.
Bullshit, bro.
Talking about how we're gonna go in there to get knocked out or knock him out. Like I was like, all right, let's get some fireworks. All right, cool. And then nothing.
It was bad. It was a bad night. I'm glad I didn't tell people to watch this because this wasn't competitive at all. And then the way they're talking about, oh, he's the greatest of all time. Stop it. I know they're all trying to sell their network or whatnot, but I mean, how disrespectful. You seen the only one that had any IQ about this was Sergio Mora. He was the only one that was it's blasphemy that you guys are saying that. He told them that. And it was. If Chavez had an opponent like this, HBO would have fucking massacred him. You guys know that. They would have been all over his shit. Oh, look at what Yildirim is. Hey, he's not. You know what? They somewhat did it to Floyd. When Floyd, remember Merchant at the end of fights, we can't give you these guys anymore, Floyd. When are you going to fight someone? Well, when's DAZN going to do that to this guy? This is like 3 or 4 fighters in a row now that everyone knows who the fucking outcome's going to be. When's Canelo now going to step up to the plate? And you know what? May 6th or May 8th, that ain't changing my mind. Mr. Social media? No. His boxing ability, all against B-level fighters. No power, decisions, everybody. They're all B-level. No, so I'm not excited about May 8th, too. Seriously, he needs Oscar to build Gilberto Ramirez. He needs it. He needs that rival, and it's not Billy Joe Saunders. It's not going to be the Charlos. They don't even mention fucking Canelo's name when they're not already signed. Oh, as soon as they sign a fight, They'll be talking again. Where's that fucking Chris Tucker Debo fucking thing? Rest in peace, Debo. But where's that one? When they're signed to a fight, oh yeah, then they want to call Canelo the fuck out. They ain't talking right now. So, and Spence, anyone heard Spence talking about Canelo last night? I thought he wanted to fight him. Didn't he say he wanted? No. I'm not signed. Soon I'm riding a fucking horse right now. When I'm signed, then I'll mention Canelo's fucking name. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
What? Is that a
yeah.
thing? In the middle of a show? Go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah, just I mean, like I'm not a fan of all-time titles. Like it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. I feel like there's never gonna be another one of him. You know, it's just like I don't like it. It's almost like the sport ends and it's like, okay, we have from this time period to this time period to say who's the best during that time period, and that's it. It's like, no, the sport is going to continue. There's going to be another one. There's going to be somebody better. There's always going to be the next Floyd, the next Canelo, the next whatever. So that title of all times is like, no. And it's not to say that Canelo won't be one of the best Mexican fighters in history. He's well on his way there with the resume that he's built so far. Last night, I can't knock him too hard. It looked, I mean, it was bad. It was bad. Let's just be honest. You know, knowing that Yildirim was the mandatory quote unquote coming off a loss, being a former sparring partner, it's just like, oh gosh, right, we're really gonna have one of these. But nonetheless, Canelo did what he needed to do. He didn't go 12 rounds with the dude. You know, he took him out when he needed to take him out. He looked dominant the way we expect him to look dominant. It wasn't, and to his credit, he didn't come in looking soft around the midsection like he just took it lightly and said, I'm gonna take this motherfucker out. You know, no big deal. I'm not even gonna train. He trained as if he was fighting another top dude, whether he wasn't or wasn't, and it showed, and he took the dude out. So, you know, he did what he needed to do, stay busy. I actually am excited for May 8th. He's talking about Canelo, talking about unifying the division, and the next available, champion, or the easiest to make a deal with is Billy Joe Saunders. So I'm excited to see that, and eventually clean up the division by eventually taking on Plant as well down the line. But Billy Joe first, all right, fuck it, I'm down for that one. I want to see how he's going to be able to slow Billy Joe down from all the moving. He's also a southpaw, so there's some details in there that he's going to have to deal with, and I'm intrigued for that one. So I am definitely excited. And the activity, he just fought in December. He's fighting now. He's fighting in May. I'm down to see, one of the best pound for pound dudes frequently in the ring. Like, why not? I'm down for that.
Well, while we wait for Andrew, let's talk about some of the more interesting observational things that occurred right after the fight. The first thing that I noticed right after the fight that I was completely intrigued and interested by was, so they set it up. They're going to do the interview. They do the interview, and they do the same general format interview, which is ask them questions in English, which don't need translations because, as many of you may or may not know this, Canelo speaks English. He just prefers not to speak English on the microphone back, but he understood every question without translation. And the reason I say that's really interesting and completely amusing, there was a moment, and what he said there was not a big deal. That's not, I've got the clips and the quotes from the press conference and everything else, and we'll talk about it in a second. The most interesting thing, if you missed it, was the wrestling dude. What's his name, Miguel?
The wrestling dude? Which one?
The former WWE guy, now turned boxing questioner.
Todd Grisham?
Todd Grisham.
Yeah.
Asked him a question. Canelo didn't hear it, right? And he literally looked at him and said, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
And he said it in perfect English, and I sat there and I started, because I was watching with someone else, right? And he goes, he can understand English, but he doesn't speak it. I said, he actually speaks it really well. He just doesn't do it, probably because it is good for the Mexican fans, right? But when he turned and looked at him and he went, I'm sorry? I almost fell out of my chair laughing. I literally fell out of my chair laughing when he...
I caught another one. There was a time where he was answering a question, and I could have sworn I heard him say, like in English. I was like, what the fuck? Like, did I just hear him say that shit? For a quick second, I was like, like, what the hell? What happened there? Did he, like, that shit happens to me, dude. I'll be fucking, speaking Spanish, and then if I accidentally throw in an English word or the other way around, I'm like speaking fucking English and I toss in a Spanish word because I forget what the actual word is in the other language. And I heard him say that, and I was like, wait a second, let me rewind this shit. Did I just hear this motherfucker say, Like, what the fuck?
Fucking kudos to him, man. I thought I'm sorry? Where he looked at him with the face too, even he was staring at the guys behind him that were jumping up and down trying to get their shirt in the shot, and it distracted him for a minute, and he was asked another question by Grisham, and I'm sorry? And Grisham started the question again. I'm like, geez, that's funny. That is funny. Kudos, Canelo. Which takes us to his comments after the fight, in the ring and in the press conference. I want to unify the division, but he gave a reason for wanting to unify the division, which was the most concocted BS thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's because being undisputed hasn't been done. No one has done it in Latin America. In a world of only a few fighters have done it the best. I want to make history and be the one of the best in the world. So his contention is nobody's unified, I guess, the 168-pound belt, not just, I'm factual, we've had unified middleweight champions. So I guess at 168, right, super middleweight, I guess, and the fact that he'd be the first Latin American to do it, I guess. Is this like some marketing bullshit? I start with you, Miguel.
I mean, I may have to like do a fact check, but I could have sworn Joe Calzaghe was undisputed at one time when he unified with I think Mikhail Kessler.
But he was not from Latin America.
No, I know. He's not the first one from Latin America, but he went as far as to even like repeating like no one has ever done it, and I was like, hold the fuck up. I could have sworn. I mean, I don't remember.
And there's a reason why, but there's a reason why Miguel doesn't remember that, Lee, and it's because fight fans don't remember undisputed champions. We remember fighters. Okay, we remember fighters like James Toney. Remember fighters like Roy Jones. Okay,
yeah, Marvin Hagler. If you say middleweight, my first thought is Marvin
middleweight.
Hagler.
Yeah, and super middleweights. Listen, so get off of it. We don't care about belt season. Nobody really does. We care about who you fought or strap season.
Andrew.
There you go. Very good.
He does.
It's about who you fought and when you fought them, because some fighters are hotter at times than when they actually take place. Floyd Mayweather versus Shane Mosley, for example. Money financially, good spot where they had it. The peak of that fight was at lightweight. It's just De La Hoya versus Mayweather. The peak of that fight is at junior welterweight. It's things like this but then where did they take place? Sometimes that has a lot to do with did the fighters meet in their prime or not? So where was I going with that?
I don't know.
I'm talking about being the only undisputed super middleweight, but
the only Latin American. I think this is how he said it. I'll be the first Latin American to be undisputed champion as well.
Yeah. So David Benavidez, that's a fight that is a good fight. He should look at, right? David's already a 2-time champ, been stripped twice. But these are fights that he can't pass up a fight like that because you're saying you're chasing belts. Now, this one belt that he's going to get, it's coming in a few months. Okay, so that's pretty cool that Saul's doing that at least. It's not like he challenged Billy Joe for September, right? Like another guy we used to know. So he's getting that belt fast. Caleb Plant, listen, it's a decent fight, but once again, it's just Canelo. This is what I mean by he's the new Bernard, man. Who's his rival? And I think they even asked that last night. Who's the guy that not only would he come in an underdog, fuck that, because he shouldn't be an underdog, but minus 6,000 was the bet last night? The fuck?
Yeah, they did mention that. They mentioned about who being able to put up a challenge, to put up a fight, to make it competitive. They did mention that after the fight. They were kind of like juggling a couple of names and whatnot, but that was the theme of the theme of the conversation was who can we put in there with him against that is going to put up a fight and actually make it competitive.
And then where it leads to. It leads to him going back to the light heavyweight division. And that's why what Oscar De La Hoya did was so huge. Look, with Charlo, Jermell, whichever one's the WBC project that El Heyman's still working with. I know he's been a champ for like 3 fucking years, but he's still a project. Don't get his shit twisted. He's not in the picture. Eventually, he's going to have to move up and wait and fight one of the guys that Miguel just mentioned, or Gilberto Ramirez, if Ramirez is still undefeated, maybe has a victory over someone huge in that. This all leads with Canelo still moving up. And Canelo, it's going to be his fucking fault because he went after that one title. You went after that one title, gives the avenue for all of those guys up there to say, see, you're just a cherry picker. That's all you were. You started out a cherry picker. You cherry picked Kovalev. That's all his career's ever been. Listen, as far as the Canelo's the great thing, no, he's not, and he might never get to Chavez. He might get as an all-time list. No, I won't knock him that, but he'll never get to Chavez. One, he already lost in one of the biggest fights of his young career. Chavez went 89-0. You can't knock a man for doing that. And 2, he has a dirty test. Chavez don't have any. Now, you might say, oh, well, Don King masked all of his talent. I don't give a shit. Well, good shit on Chavez for getting the promoter that knew how to get him by. I don't fucking care. He don't have one. It's just like Pacquiao. You got to leave at a certain point. You got to leave the shit alone because they don't have any dirty tests to prove what to say he was on steroids. So, Canelo fails in both of those categories. You can never be El Gran Campeón, like Morris said. You can't be him. Sorry, it's blasphemy that they even mention it.
In regards to that dirty test, the bottom line is it's a dirty test, period. But it didn't come during a fight or after a fight. Does that change matters?
I don't know because the way he looked, he's a freaking under Fernando Vargas, man. When that kid first hit the scale, when he came out in that first Triple G, everyone was like, "Oh shit, where did this come from? Where did this body?" Oh, look, dirty test. What happened when Vargas first hit that scale with Oscar, man?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was like, oh, dude, he's going to win this fight. This dude is chiseled.
Yeah.
We never seen. Boom, dirty test a little bit later. It's like, dude.
Fucking Lampley was like, oh, he got himself a nutritionist for the first time, and you can tell his body is hard. Like, oh, yeah, it's very tight. Like, yes, Lampley.
So it just hurts him real bad when you go up to a Chavez diehard and go, I think this guy was better than your guy. It's like, you know what? Don't even start. And the boxers, Floyd was a great boxer. Don't get it twisted. But he did fight Floyd not dead splat in his prime. I mean, come on. Canelo had some things going into that fight. Yes, Floyd had all the experience, but Floyd was still holding a lot at that point of his career. Do you really think Mayweather would have been able to hold Chavez for fucking 12 rounds when Chavez was 22 fucking years old? Did anyone ever remember how Chavez used to fight? This guy was brilliant in the inside. He threw 1,000 punches. On the ropes, he only led with the right hand, and it almost landed every fucking time. It was disgusting. Canelo shows none of that. His defense, better. But you can't hold Chavez. Nobody was able to hold Chavez for 89 straight fights. No one was ever to hold him. 3 divisions, 5 world titles. No one was ever able just to hold him. That night, Canelo got held a whole fucking lot.
There you go. Billy Joe did make a couple of press releases after the fight, or he had one already typed up for him. Canelo, I'm ready to rock and roll. You have to dare to be great, and you aren't going to be great if you don't beat the greats. Wow, what a sentence. Let me do that one again. You have to dare to be great, and you aren't going to be great if you don't beat the great. One more time. You have to dare to be great. This is the title of the show. You have to dare to be great, and you aren't going to be great if you don't beat the greats. Who's on first? I believe
whoever scores the most points wins the game, Lee. Don't ever forget it.
Yeah.
You know
At
what?
the end of the game, whoever's got the most points.
Defense will always be good offense, and vice versa. Yeah. And you know what? To be the man, you got to beat the man. And to be the man, you actually have to lose to be the man again.
Can't succeed
Or,
if you
as
didn't
Ric
try.
Flair would say it, I was the 16-time world heavyweight champion. It also means I lost the title 16 times.
Hey, what's the one? If you shoot for the moons, you'll land in the stars. Come on, this is all day. Let's go, Billy Joe. Let's go.
Craziest shit ever. All right. What else does he say? He's the main man in the sport. You have to give him respect. He doesn't duck anyone. He's beaten good names, but nobody is unbeatable. And I believe I have the tools and the crack pipe to beat him if I use them properly. And if if the game plan comes off that I believe works. Wow, that's clunky. I am looking at the golden ticket to cement my legacy, certainly, or to get out of the headlines for crack pipes and hookers. And that's how you have to go in there to beat him. I've won everything from Southern area to world titles. I could say I've won it all, been to the Olympics. I'm unbeaten. I'll see you later. But I've only just turned 31. I've got no miles on the clock. Haven't taken any punishment except in the media. I believe he's been in harder fights than me and has more miles. So I want to cement my legacy and beat him. He's knocked out by the third round. That's my final decision. Final answer, Regis. Final answer, third round. I start with you, Miguel. So when Saunders goes in at a minus 26,000 in this fight, why am I to believe that this is a fight that I should get excited about?
Well, I mean, I don't see him beating Canelo, but I see him sort of frustrating Canelo a little bit, doing a lot of moving, not standing in front of him, not being a stationary target, clinching quite a bit, and the fact that he's a southpaw. He's basically a heavier, I guess, less qualified Lara. But I mean, it's enough to get him into the later rounds. Whether it's enough to beat him, I don't think so. But I mean, I'm excited for it because it's another belt for him to secure, Canelo. I mean, and one step closer to unifying the division, which is kind of the point, in all of this. We all want one champion in every weight division. So that if that solidifies it even further, I'm all down for it. Grabbing another belt. But yeah, to say, I'm excited for it for that main reason. Really, nothing else, because I don't see Billy Joel really giving Canelo too many problems, other than what I just mentioned in regards to moving a lot and clinching a lot and being a southpaw. What he can do besides that, well, that remains to be seen.
We want the best fights in the division. Unfortunately, right now, this is one of the best fights in the division for Canelo. That's one of his biggest problems. A lot of the champions that he just faced, Kovalev, Rocky Fielding, they've been champions, but just it is what it is. They're not they're not headliners. They're not ticket sellers. It's going to continue to be this way until he has a rival, till he has someone that can match his excitement level. None of these, I don't even think the Charlos do right now. There would be some interest in the fight, but that's not no Tommy Hearns versus Sugar Ray Leonard type moment. There's no De La Hoya Trinidad atmosphere going on there. So no, Canelo, he really needs someone above him to shine. And that's why I think what Oscar did for Canelo this week was so big in getting Ramirez under the Golden Boy banner, because De La Hoya can make stars. He still has his name, his little star power behind his name. So he gets a big win with Ramirez, and that's it, man. This thing is going to catch fire. It's going to catch fire fast too, because Mexicans love boxing. So as soon as Ramirez looks like he's the guy that can challenge Canelo, it's going to be a must-see fight. So this was the best thing that could happen for Saul. He just needs to accept it. And I know why he doesn't want to, is because of the tone of the skin color. I think he feels that they won't back him as hard as they will Ramirez, especially if Ramirez does look like the undefeated fighter that his record shows. I mean, like Bivol or who's the other light heavyweight? Better beef, yeah. Better beef. Let's say he beats them both. I'm just talking here, you guys. Let's just say Ramirez is everything that undefeated record is. I mean, come on, Canelo's having nightmares over this shit. That was the last thing Canelo wanted was to be on the other side of the fence with the guy like Gilberto Ramirez with his star power in question. So yeah, it's huge. It's what he needed though. He just has to accept it. Be very delicate as you're going through that fight. But it can be done.
Well, I think that does it. What more is there to say about an exciting weekend of cab cockfighting? It's what it was. It was a human execution.
It was pretty bad, man. Both of those fights were pretty bad, especially when you heard in the co-main event that the dude only made weight because he came in from a smaller division. It was like, well, what the fuck? That's a setup. And then seriously, Yildirim just let us down, Lee. I mean, punch, do something. Like, just, really?
What was he waiting for? What was he waiting for? We knew, we knew he had no chance in hell to fucking beat Canelo. At the very least, swing on the way down. There's a certain point, us being men, if we're ever in a fucking fight, like a boxing fight, I should say, if he's whooping my ass, yes, I'm gonna headbutt him. God damn it. Yes, I'm gonna hit him with my shoulder. God damn it, it's gonna be rough. It's like I'm getting my ass beat. I'm gonna get this motherfucker back however I can get him back. Like, where does that anger? When does it kick in? When did Yildirim be like, okay, I'm feeling his power. He thinks he can take me out. No, fuck this dude. I'm gonna throw something at. He's gonna remember he was in a fight with me tonight, win, lose, or draw. But nope,
and seriously, Joel put a little bit too much into that talking for him to come away with any little respect out of there. Where was your game plan? What motivation did you give this young man? Because going in, it sounded like you were the thing that was going to change him. Oh, you're not going to see the same fighter. Oh, we got this. And I'm not trying to knock the guy, but that's what they told us, correct? And it totally blew up in his face too. So he's leaving this fight. There's a lot of young men that are looking for trainers out there. They're going to remember what Canelo did to Joel Diaz's fighter and what he looked like on the biggest night of his career. So just no. That was a no bueno all the way around for those guys in that corner.
Translation to no bueno.
That's all I got, Lee. Leave me alone.
Not good. As in not.
All right, final words, Andrew Labshay.
Nothing changed last night. Canelo will stay where he's at in the pound for pound ranking. Number one, I guess you would say. He just wasn't special. Like I said, I think it goes back to what I said earlier. It was not a pound for pound matchup, and it wasn't a pound for pound fight. So, because of the landscape of the whole boxing world right now, with Terrence Crawford not being able to get the fight with Spence, who else is right under him, you guys? Who am I missing here that's fighting for pound supremacy right now? Can you guys think of it? Because I'm saying Crawford isn't going to get it because he's not fighting Spence, right? So Canelo keeps it over him, even with this fight that he had. Is there anyone else that's coming up in the rankings that might have a shot at proving they're number one in the world? And my answer is no. So Canelo wins on default right now.
Miguel Antonio Barragan.
I mean, nothing changed, nothing moved. The needle wasn't moving this weekend, but Canelo did what he needed to do. It was a stay busy fight. Seeing him fight frequently kind of reminds me of the old Chavez days where he would fight frequently, and it's something that keep in mind he's 30. How many more years he has in his career. We want to see him fight as many times as we possibly can, just to witness that before he's gone from the sport. So it's one of those things where when I find out that but Marquez was kind of towards the end of his career, I'm like, I'm going to go to as many fights as I possibly can to see this guy before he calls it quits. So it didn't change anything this particular weekend. Maybe not even when he fights Billy Joe will anything change. But I'm watching. Yeah.
Bob Arum. Was Terrence Crawford at that fight? Oscar De La Hoya. Bro, that fight was stupid, bro. Fuck him. Larry Flint. Not a great fight. And finally, from heaven, Larry Merchant as well. How did you have the fight scored? The Yildirim versus Chelsea Handler fight, I had it scored 116 to 112. Back to you, Jim. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Fight Net Radio. Follow us online at fight.net.radio. And as always, check out the 26-part documentary that Miguel is doing on Anthony Joshua this week. Insight. He also got Eddie Hearn exclusive interviews. It's amazing. At Fight Fiend Migs on both Instagram and YouTube. We will, as always, be... Oh, wait, I'm just being told right now, Sam Navajero didn't get his 2 cents in. Crocky. Thanks, everyone. Fight Net Radio!
FightNetRadio.com with Andrew and Lee. Talking boxing, combat, sports, comedy, football, and everything kick-ass. All on FightNetRadio.com. Fight Net Radio!